Hey, Becoming Me. I am so excited to introduce you to my warrior friend, Susie. Susie, welcome to BecomingMe.tv.
Thank you, Emily. I am so honored to be invited and to share a little bit of our story.
Well, the honor is mine, and I am so encouraged and inspired by how you're becoming who you are and who God designed you to be. And I know people who are listening and watching your story today are just going to be encouraged, like I am by you. And so, to kick everything off, if someone was a new friend of Susie, they're like, Emily, I don't know who Susie is yet, but I can't wait to meet her. Who is Susie? Introduce yourself.
Okay, well, Susie is a little Midwestern girl who grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, surrounded by amazing family and friends, and came to love the beer business. My family has been in the beer business since I was born and years before that. And so I grew up just having the opportunity to engage with community, to be surrounded by hospitality, and to be surrounded by an organization that really put giving back to the community as a priority. Blessed to have amazing mom and dad, and they've taught me great things over the years. So I've been surrounded by wonderful mentors, and then really it's the people along the way over all the years that I cherish most and feel really that those that's why I have been able to do what I do is by being surrounded by just incredible people, and that's my greatest gift.
Wow. I mean, what a gift the people around you truly are. Hearing some of that passion in you, I'm so curious as to what your story is. Like you shared a little bit about the value of who was around you growing up in your family. And so, what's some of your story, Susie, and what's made you who you are today?
Well, again, grew up in St. Louis, had the opportunity to go to Duke University, worked in various fields in my summers during college because I didn't really know what field I wanted to go into. So I've always been attracted to marketing. So I had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. and work in public relations, in Chicago to work in advertising. In St. Louis, I worked at the Civic Center there. So got involved in
Wow.
community eventing. But then when I graduated, I was like, you know what? I really do love the beer business, good people, interesting industry. Why don't I jump into that for a little while? So I worked in sales and marketing at
Okay.
Anheuser-Busch and then realized I needed to go back to business school. So I went to Kellogg in Chicago. And that was right after my husband Tripp and I got married and really got more comfortable with, finance and accounting because I really didn't have any of that training in my liberal arts degree from Duke.
Okay.
And then it was after that that I went to work with SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, another form of hospitality, if you
Mhm.
will. And then after that, my husband and I had the opportunity to consider being an Anheuser-Busch wholesaler in North Florida. So moved out of St. Louis, came down here, and really just was in awe of the learning that we had to kind of apply what we had learned in business school and in the corporate world to a frontline community based business, small business, now medium sized business, and have loved that experience. Really got to know frontline employee issues, team member issues at the front line, community issues and opportunities. And I really focused my role at the company on the community involvement and marketing and strategy. So I got to work with incredible organizations serving many community needs
Mhm.
and help grow the company. And then I'll tell you, Emily, it was just the craziest occurrence, God thing that started Hearth and Soul. So I went to it was 40th birthday party. I forget
Okay.
how old I am. It was a 40th birthday retreat of two
Mhm.
of my best friends from college. And it was at a home in South Georgia. So I drove, and
Okay.
most of these women came down from New York, and they brought
Okay.
this life coach whose name is Reverend
Okay.
Catherine Peretti. They brought her down, and we all had a chance to sit with Reverend Catherine for
Mhm.
an hour as a thank you for
Wow.
coming to the birthday, kind of like our party favor or whatever.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Who is Reverend Catherine? What is this about?" and I'm pretty open-minded, so
Uh-huh.
they knew this woman, they trusted
Mhm,
this woman,
mhm,
and she just has this intuition about people and has helped
mm,
guide people in their life.
mhm.
So, in my 1-hour visit with Reverend Catherine, Hearth and Soul, where I'm sitting today, was born.
Wow.
And that was 9, 10 years ago now, Emily. Um, just again, it was literally that 1-hour visit. She said
Wow.
at the end of the conversation about what I love, she said, "I see a
Mm,
storefront in your future, a place called The Kitchen." And that just got my mind going.
mhm,
Literally within 10 days, I had my lookbook storyboard done. I had a
mhm.
draft business plan. I reached out to my friends that had retail experience because I didn't have any retail experience. Started talking to friends and family. And then I think it was 11 months later, the doors of Hearth and Soul in Tallahassee opened. And this is Hearth and Soul. You can't really, I'm at the patio side entry, but Hearth and Soul is
Mm,
kind of everything that I love. It's about home,
mm,
that's the hearth side of Hearth and Soul. And then soul, it's filled with things and experiences that feed the soul, that make you happy.
mhm,
And that's my mind, body, and soul Celtic symbol behind me that really kind of
mm,
symbolizes who we are. But we have community engagement all the time. We host events. We have not for profit partners, artist partners, fitness
mm,
partners, and we're laid out like a home floor plan.
mhm,
So everything in those different spaces of your home, there's a women's closet, custom built, that is filled with women's clothes and accessory. There's
mhm,
a men's closet with men's apparel and accessories. There's a kitchen, a dining
mhm,
room, a
mhm.
family room, a library, and a patio. I'm sitting on our patio, and everything's for sale from the floor to the ceiling. So
Wow.
again, if you're looking for that favorite
Mhm,
outfit that makes you feel confident, you can come and shop in our closets. If you're looking for that special
mhm,
piece of
mhm,
jewelry to gift somebody or buy for yourself, we have
mhm,
various price points. So you always feel welcome. We are very focused on being
mhm,
approachable and making people's day. That's our mission. Connect with friends to make their
mhm,
day. So we're very intentional about
mhm,
the curated offerings that we have so that you have new and different things to surprise and delight, but you also have
mhm,
different price points so that nobody's
mhm.
disappointed and
Right.
everybody feels fulfilled and inspired after their visit. So it's been a real journey of love, again, brought to life by so many amazing people that are equally as
Mhm,
energized and excited about what we're doing.
mhm,
And after 3 years, we
mhm.
started looking at other locations because the
Okay.
business plan was a 5-year plan. And that suggested that we would start looking if we were
Mhm,
successful here. So we opened in Austin, Texas next. And then after that, 3 years ago, we opened in St. Louis, Missouri, which is my hometown. But all the locations are chosen based on
mhm,
relationships first and foremost, of course, economic viability,
mhm.
and kind of a gap in the marketplace
Yeah,
with which we can fill to help
yeah.
people's needs. Sadly, we had to announce last week that we are going to close the Austin store after 6 years. It's a more challenging community to operate in these economic
Mm,
times. So after much heartache and a lot of analysis, we did have to make that decision. So we're going to pivot, continue to thank and welcome our Austin friends into our e-commerce business
mhm,
online, and also to ever, if they're ever in St.
mhm,
Louis or Tallahassee, to visit us. But we're going to focus on those two
mhm,
physically present stores as well as our e-commerce moving into our next phase. So it's been an incredible journey,
mhm.
again, only made possible by the wonderful people who
Mm.
have been with us along the way.
Thank you for sharing your journey. It's so cool to see how you just kept taking one step after another. It sounds like just even curiosity of what you were gifted at, talented at, interested in, and then what the community around you both needed and was encouraging you to do, and then what you are able to do now is absolutely incredible. And I have to share, I do have my very own Hearth and Soul robe that is my favorite thing ever. And every time I wear this robe in the morning when I'm reading and have my coffee, it makes me feel so at home. And I literally like, I love it so much.
Yeah,
So we'll have the link to the e-commerce site in the show notes as well. And I could not encourage y'all more to check out the website, buy something special. Your store is such a special place to me in my heart, and I just love it
thank
and love
thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, that is actually one of the questions I was gonna ask you is what feeds your soul? Because that
Ooh.
was the question I asked all the women at the birthday retreat that ended up finding it their place, all the answers found a place in a home-like setting, which is, I think,
Mhm.
why I tended toward that after the initial conversation with Reverend Catherine.
Ooh, I love that question. What feeds your soul?
Mhm.
I feel like if I were to sit down and think about that, the word, and I don't mean this in a cliche way because we're on the Becoming Me podcast, but becoming and the concept of constantly growing and learning and becoming me really feeds me by moving me forward. If it was physical things, coffee feeds my soul and caffeinates my brain for sure.
Yes, yes, and the robe.
Oh, the robe for sure, and I also really love, and you can correct me if this is not what you call it, but the Hearth and Soul candle, like, is it a signature candle? Am I
It is,
saying that correctly?
it
Okay,
is. We have a heart
I
and a soul.
okay, so I think I have had the soul candle
It's white?
twice. Yes.
Yes.
And I love it. It fuels
Good.
my soul. It smells like home and comforting, and, I think also nature fuels my soul too, whether it's the beach or the mountains. I can just stare and I'm inspired and filled up and encouraged. Time in God's word does that for me as well. I'm just going off on a book on what fuels
Well,
my
I
soul.
share I share a lot of those things, and again, it was really interesting to
Mhm.
ask really diverse
Yeah.
friend groups, what is it that makes you
Mhm.
happy, brings you fulfillment,
Yeah.
and then we tried to capture that and bring that to be at
Mhm.
Hearth and Soul.
So I would be curious to hear your answer to that question. What fuels your soul?
Definitely time with family and friends, my
Mhm.
home, my dogs, my children, unique experiences,
Mhm.
travel, connecting others.
Mhm.
Like I get such joy
Mhm.
out of, hearing one person get excited about what their offering is and then having another person express a need and then connecting those people.
Mhm.
And we
Yeah.
do that here at Hearth and Soul all the time. So
Yeah.
that those are my top things I think I would say.
I love that. I love it. Now, are you a coffee drinker?
Yes, I have 2 cups in the morning, half
Ooh.
decaf, half regular, so I can have 2.
I like that plan. That's amazing. So if you were having a cup of coffee, one of your 2 cups of coffee, half decaf, half regular, and maybe you're sitting on the patio section at Hearth and Soul, Tallahassee location, and you have a friend with you, and you're chatting about life, and they're talking with you about their own becoming journey, what would you say to encourage them to keep becoming who they are?
Never give up, the positivity that you need to bring to bear every day is really important because we always have bad days, and we at our culture here at Hearth and Soul, we read this book called The Fish Philosophy, and there are 4 principles in the fish philosophy that I would share with this
Mhm,
person because to me, they are one of the key reasons why I keep going and keep having the energy to lead through challenging times. We made it through COVID as retail. We are bricks and
yeah,
mortar. Um, and so
mhm,
positivity, choose your attitude. That's the first thing we get to do every morning when we wake up, put our feet on the ground. How is this day going to go? And if you choose positivity, even if you don't feel it initially, I
mhm,
really believe that your day will tend toward positivity. And certainly, we have to create a positive ripple for others. So we have to choose it for ourselves first.
mhm,
So that's one. Being present is really important. Physically present, mentally present, emotionally present. is really important. And sometimes you have to force that as well because of the, crazy multitasking world in which we live
Yeah.
in. The third one is have fun. You've got to choose a journey where you can have fun. Yes, it's not always, you know, roses and milkshakes, but for the most part, it's something that
Mhm.
inspires you and allows you to have joy and have fun with your customers in our case.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're having fun with them. And then the last one is make their day, which is, of course, part of our mission. It's focused on making our
Mhm.
customers' day. So those are the key points I would share, and just surrounding yourself with people who you can trust, who have your back, you have theirs, diverse perspectives, um, and people that will challenge you when you need to be
Mhm.
challenged, and not be yes people in your life, but in a clear and kind way.
Yeah. No, that is so powerful. And I'll include the link to the fish book as well. So good. Very practical. So I would highly encourage y'all reading that book as well. And Susie, do you have time for one more question that I would
Sure.
love? Okay. So I've heard this theme of the power of who's around you and community connection, the people who are speaking into you, and very much throughout your own becoming story. I mean, those people were very significant for you in your journey. And if somebody was watching and they're listening and they're like, I hear the power of community, but how do I figure out who those people are so I'm not just having yes people or no people? Is there a practical step you would equip somebody with for finding their people? Does that make
Well,
sense?
the first thing I would say is really try and return anybody's phone call.
Mhm.
Now, I didn't say email because you can ferret through which ones are
Yeah.
spam or which ones are solicitation for something. But if somebody has taken the time to pick up a phone and call you,
Mm.
you never know where you are going to reconnect with those people in life. And I have incredible stories about that, where, it might have been somebody coming to repair something at my house
Mhm.
and called me on something else, or, I mean, and you just never know where those people are going to turn back up. So always, you know, give people the time and attention that
Mhm.
they deserve, no matter where they are in their life at the time. And I just think also that's common courtesy. Um, and then otherwise, it's really about time.
Mhm.
And I do tend to trust people until they prove themselves untrustworthy. And that can be painful sometimes. But the other thing is the 6 degrees of separation.
Mhm.
And I feel strongly about connecting with people that I know and trust, and that 6 degrees, and spanning that out as much as I can to welcome people into my world. Does that
Yeah.
help?
Absolutely. Very practical, very tangible. Thank you for sharing just that wisdom and the gift of who you are with us. And I know we've mentioned Hearth and Soul. We've heard your story. Where are some of the best places for people to connect with you and Hearth and Soul online? And then I'll include the links as well.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so follow us Instagram, Facebook, shop Hearth and Soul, and then our website is hearthandsoul.com. Or just come and visit us if you're popping into Tallahassee or St. Louis. We would love to see you in person.
Mhm.
But just let us know what you think when you get here, and we appreciate the opportunity.
Well, I definitely am excited to visit one day soon. Hearth and Soul, Tallahassee is on my bucket list right now. I've been telling my parents I'm making a road trip to come see you in person,
Please
visit the
do.
store. I'm so excited. But thank you for your time today, who you are, who you're becoming. You are such a gift. I'm encouraged by you, and I just appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emily.